Hey guys, how are you? Yep, it's the Reset Sniper coming at you, bespeckled. That's right, bespeckled. So, what's happening in our world? Well, let's give you a wee update since we last posted on the Reset Sniper. So, you probably realized from the title of the last video that it's pretty dark and getting darker. Most of what we predicted, and I've done a redux of 2017 Reset Sniper videos, all predicting greater draconian government overreach, all predicting loss of freedom of movement, all predicting for a variety of reasons UBI and discussing why it was going to be the on-ramp for communism and the destruction of private property. So they will give you debt write-offs and all sorts of things. But let's start with this case. In the schools and the children, this child managed to secure an exemption from wearing a mask. That's right. And now, for those of you who can't read this, it's a little bit small. So let me just expand that. And he's not talking, and his sign says, "My teacher says I'm not allowed to speak at break or lunchtime because I am mask exempt." In other words, punishment so that he does not get any benefit for his mask-based exemption. Punishment is he's muzzled verbally. He may not interact. He is isolated. He's in solitary confinement while surrounded by all his school friends and schoolmates mumbling into their nappies. That is where the world has come to under this Bolshevik, draconian, overreach environment. That is absolutely absurd, and it's child abuse as far as I'm concerned. Save our children indeed, save all our souls. And I will come to solutions, because many people say, yep, you called it and yep, it's happening, but what are you doing about suggesting about solutions? Well, I have some solutions. That doesn't mean it's going to be easy. It's the same way as, putting out a burning blaze while drowning in a flood. It's going to require real strong action. And most of you, having heard the solutions, are not going to act on them. I'm going to tell you up front. You're not ready to hear them. You're not ready to do it. I challenge you to act on them. I challenge on you to actually do something now, because the time of sand for pushback is running out. This is a globalist cult, Sabbatean Frankist cult that has got humanity by the throat and is choking it, and has been slowly working for that grip hold, and you are properly captured. You haven't seen it coming. The serpent is wound round your neck like you have no conceptual clue. And it's just beginning to kick off. So what does Sky News have to tell us? Mr. Murdoch's tool. We all know who he works for, another of these Sabbatean Frankist types that's fully into the Anglo-Zio cause. And what do they say? Researchers find that a number of people with antibodies in their study fell by 26% since lockdown measures were relaxed. What is that telling you? Oh, because you got your freedom back, we're all at greater risk. You see, it's a tough trade. You got to move around, and you know what? Amazingly, all the antibodies that your body had developed disappeared because you were allowed to go out and eat a meal, because you weren't locked down in your house. Isn't that interesting? You go out the front door and they switch off. This is your immune system, apparently. They start dwindling. This is your fake science, fake fact narrative that you're going to have to face on huge scale. And I'm afraid to tell you, you're going to get it rammed at you until everybody's going to say, well, it can't all be wrong. Some of it has to be true. And they will just overload with volume and repetition that millions of the sheeple will just become exactly what they are, the followers of every new. So-called herd immunity. So-called herd immunity never existed. I'm not an animal. Has been proposed by some scientists as a better alternative to lockdown it would require around 50 to 60% of the population to have protection against the virus, so it could no longer transmit. And what they're saying is, therefore, more lockdowns to even have a shot at this. And when you get to 50, 60, they will say, for it to be perfect, you need 70, 80. And then at 70, 80, they're going to say, new studies show that it's not fully effective unless 90 to 95. And when 95, if it ever gets that far, we'll say, well, you only need a small amount of people to reinfect and we could all go back down again. So this is the narrative they are spinning you. So here I am going to tell you about how this vaccine, once they go full retard on the vaccine, is going to pan out. And I'm going to say to those of you that think you will get one injection once off, you are absolutely freaking dreaming. And very quickly, once you have given them the highway to under your dermal layer of protection against immunity, and they have family planning baby tissue injected with all the contaminants that they want under your skin, believe you me, they will come and come and come again. It will be, that needle will be a new highway under your final line of defense. If you think there will be one vaccine that you will take once, I'm here to tell you in advance, once you open that door, it's the thin edge of a wedge. It's not the first that will kill you. They need everybody to survive that. They need everyone to even look good and turn to the conspiracy theorists and say what fools they are, how much better they feel. Hell, they might even give you a line of cocaine with it. Feel good factor, little bit of happy pill. Who the goddamn knows what will actually truly be inside that, but it won't on its own be the thing that does you any grievous health damage. What they will then do is they'll turn and point to everybody else and say, you see, holdouts, difficult people, non-compliant, selfish, mean people. Selfish, mean people acting out on their own freedom of choice and will are costing us all. In this new communism, it's all about the solidarity, one for all and all for one. That is the great game the Bolsheviks play. They will use that meme and theme ruthlessly for you others that will take the vaccine to shame those of independent thought and stand alone. First, you'll be locked down in your house permanently while others move around until you are a minority enough for the isolation camps. The isolation camps. Think the gulag of the Bolshevik era. These people are a nasty Sabbatean Frankist cult that are intent on global population reduction. And you, once you've taken one, will say, but now this is no longer COVID-19, it's COVID-21. It has morphed because some people have developed immunity and all viruses adapt. The war on the virus, which can never be won like the war on terror. Has anyone noticed terror attacks have suddenly disappeared? It seems like the new thing. We don't want to be distracted by Islamic terrorists. It's now all about the virus. Do you think that maybe that the same people that are running the virus scam might have been running the other scams and now need all your attention, not being distracted by the likes of the 7/7 scam, the likes of the 9/11 scam, perpetuated by the Anglo-Zion axis of murderous Sabbatean Frankists. Yes, that's right, that ran all of them. Anyway, back to this. However, a major UK study found that rather than building immunity over time, 26% since lockdown has eased. Isn't that fascinating? So we're punishing children that have exemptions, and I'm telling you here right now, when you make that first choice for the vaccine, understand you have actually passively said yes to every single other needle-based highway under your dermal skin with all the tissue. And my suggestion is that it will not be the first that totally tarnishes your health and spoils. It will be multiple. It will be the reaction of multiple versions with negative cross effects. It's kind of like taking cancer drugs, with other drugs for other treatments, for other ailments that then start to co-act negatively against each other. That will lead to your probable depopulated demise. That is my prediction. And if it's not via the vax, trust me, it'll be by the machines. These are Terminator times, good friends. These are Terminator times. It's the end of times, and you need to know what to do. Think the big red-eyed robots. You've seen the dog now in his yellow roving around, filming everything in public. What right has a non-human entity to go roving around in free roaming places, recording images of myself and anybody else? Well, I'm afraid you gave it away to Google to do their maps. You gave it away to the state to hack your phones and your security. You gave it away when you put home security on a Wi-Fi that they can hack into. You've given them the access when you put an Alexa in your room or any of these other, oh, help me now, play my favorite song, help you make your life so easy. Yep, that's the big easy, which brings me to the beautiful World Economic Forum results. Let's listen for the 8 predictions for the world in 2030. How about it? How cool is that? You will own nothing. You will own nothing. You will have zero balance sheet. That's what it means. In the world of actually having some freedom, where you have some leverage that you can procure services for yourself on your own terms, all that will be removed. And you'll rent. But how will you do this rent? Well, in an uncertain job market where the end of times game is moving, and some might ask, why are we facing this end of games time now? Well, you see, the tech, thanks to Elon and Microsoft, Mr. Bill and everybody else, has got to the point where human labor, so the capitalism was built on labor, capital, and then the entrepreneur who had the means to bring together the combination of capital and labor to create a good or service that was sought. And people got jobs under the entrepreneur for doing good work and delivering the product that secured a profit. Now you see, we're sitting with robot world, production lines, AI, everything. We don't need that much labor to do menial things at all anymore. Soon you'll have an automatic home cleaner. Soon you'll have automatic everything. The problem is, starting from the low job level specs and moving far faster than many people realize, even into coding and various other areas, we are losing jobs all the time. The truck driver will soon be a bot. Who knows? So this is moving really, really fast. Why do we need to have so many people that challenge the Sabbatean Frankist death cult's power? They want to be able to fly in jets all the time. They don't want the climate to change because you occasionally have an easy jet from Britain to Europe for your once-a-year holiday that you scrape together to afford. No, if 100 of you didn't exist, that's an extra jetting across the continent every week for Mr. Frankist, Mr. Sabbatean death cult Frankist. That's right. That's where we are at, guys. It's exactly what's happening, and it is getting very untidy. You're going to be so happy. What will make you happy about relying on, we predicted it, that it's coming 2 years, 3 years. I walked in Greenwich Park and I said UBI is the beginning of the end of times. It is the beginning of the end of times, I warned. Why is it the beginning of the end of times, you ask? Well, the whole idea is to create you as a dependent, a completely no longer financially free off your own skills, work sets and contribution. It's to make you utterly dependent on government. Because once I'm utterly dependent on government, Government then can dictate exactly what I'm to do to retain my stipend of a wage, which they will be creating and printing as easily as they've created quantitative easing and everything else. And it will be coming direct to citizen. And you will love government for your stipend and UBI, and you will comply and do everything they told if you allow this to move forward. And that, my friend, is your new technological Bolshevik government. That is the likes of which Elon Musk has even accepted and acknowledged as jobs are being replaced. He is part of this Bolshevism, and he will be part of the same cult with all their trauma-based childhood little inductions that they do. That's right, psychosis, psychopathic. Anyway, how happy are you going to be in that environment? Well, it smells of pharma and happy pills. Because you know what? I don't like trusting and relying on a lying, deceiving, false flag, perpetuating, vicious, governmental, dark state, murder cult. I don't like relying on them. I don't like trusting them. How am I going to be happy? Your meds will make you happy. All your worries will go away and you'll be switched off when they decide it's time. That is what's coming, guys, and it's that dark. That is what's coming, and it's that dark. And for those that resist and hide in the hills and build communities, which is going to be part of my suggestion on the solutions coming, you better fear the Terminator. Because search and destroy, dressed like humans, I tell you what, the film is coming. We will learn to hate drones. Oh, look at this. Your purchase has been delivered by drone. Drone is the new arm of state. Drone is the new arm of state. In fact, I had a medical link here that I'm going to go find for you. Partners. This is the new partnership. Let's just get this fella. I forgot about this fella that I wanted to bring in. This is unbelievable. Look at this partnership that you can go find. Your vaccines soon to be delivered by drone, courtesy of Merck Partners with drone startup Volancy. Isn't it an interesting startup? I wonder where the money came from. Possibly other pharmaceutical companies or Merck itself, maybe the Rockefeller Venture Fund. Who knows? You might want to look that up. Isn't that lovely? To ensure Big Pharma have launching a test program in North Carolina to examine their ability to deliver temperature controlled, your little refrigerated box, so that your vax is so sweet and fresh from a central production facility to determine how far they can send them. It seems like they're going to be making it real easy and kind of, hey, here's your vax, do the necessary in terms of delivery. And then your local friendly nurse will pop over to administer your shot for your 5th, 6th, 7th update for COVID 3366 ad nauseum. That's right, friends. It's the war on terror that never ends. It's the war on the virus that will never end. It's going to change your life. It's going to take away your freedoms. The fact of the matter here is that these guys are gearing up. Everything we have warned you about is coming. Everything we have warned you about. We said in the beginning this would be about vaccinations when it first came out. We said in the beginning there will not be one lockdown, there will be multiple lockdowns. We said in the beginning they will become more draconian, as you are now seeing police. Police don't have murderers to chase anymore. They don't have rapists to chase. They're arresting people without wearing their masks properly. They're forcing pubs to close down. They're forcing gyms in Liverpool to close down. This is the new great crime that is getting all the enforcement attention. Unless, of course, you are part of a Marxist-controlled group, such as Black Lives Matter, and you are protesting en masse, in which case, have a free ride. But that kid, with his exemption, he must be punished. You shall not speak to anyone. You are muzzled without your muzzle. That's it. That's where it's coming to. Let's have a pop over to our friend Jeff Berwick of Dollar Vigilante. What is Jeff telling us about us things. And I suggest catch a follow of Jeff. He's always fun. It's good to see. And he reminds me of many of the things that I'm meaning to talk about as well. And it's a great little check-in. The fact checkers. Well, let me give you my lowdown on the fact checkers. The fact checkers are the new Ministry of Truth. Orwell is here. The Ministry of Truth says. That is it. Every time you hear fact checker, read news management. This is propaganda-based Bernays programming, Bolshevik Ministry of Truth, end of times, dominating, aggressive, intrusive, absolute draconian deceit. All you should know about the fact checkers is deception and paid interests of the Sabbatian death cult that is wanting the cull of the global population. We do not need such a labor force anymore. We have production lines for Terminator robots. Speaking to a number of people, some of them even say they will collect the data of the great death harvesting. Boy, do they get high on the souls released in every war and the blood and the gore. For your pain, your fear is their fuel. And boy, will they be harvesting. So much so that the mega computers will probably be collecting in a slightly esoteric manner. I take a slightly spiritual esoteric manner. They will have mechanisms, whether it involves CERN and quantum computing, to harvest the collective memory. You know, when you're about to crash that car and your brain slows everything right the hell down, and you get that more time than you think, that inception moment, sort of the car falling into the river, and you're swerving and you're reacting, and it's slowed right the hell down. It's kind of like how it goes. We have synthetic pineal glands coming. Pineal glands, the absolute spirit molecule, and through your pineal gland, as many suggest, that as you are passing on and your spirit is released, you almost get a memory dump of all those core memories, and it feels like your whole life flashes you by. Many people that have had near-death experiences, and it shoots through your brain, through your spirit molecule, your pineal gland, and you have this mini movie that probably doesn't take a nanosecond, but you have enough time to recognize various events, moments in your life. They will capture this as the great spiritual metadata for their future sentient machines, and they will get the harvesting of billions of souls and energy. That is how dark I suggest it is. But there are things you can do, and there are things we can do to extend our time on this planet. I calculated on living in my mind that I'd get, into the 80s, mid 80s, and then I'd probably, be a little bit ragged by then and be close to turning my toes up on some form of planetary toxicity that's finally embedded deeply in me. I can tell you, if you want to achieve that and you're roughly my age, you need another 30 plus years, another 30 to 35 plus years. I can tell you it's going to be a bigger challenge than you think. And here's what we've got to do. I'll be coming to it in a minute. In fact, given that voice, let's cut into another interesting article. By the way, I'm ad hocing a lot here. Let's just go through the other points that Jeff makes in here. Your once in a life opportunity, debt forgiveness. I've spoken of debt jubilees and how it comes. And guess what? You sign over all your assets. Isn't it convenient that the World Economic Forum is predicting you as an assetless normie with nothing to your name but your UBI from government totally reliant, yet you'll be buying parcels that will be delivered by drone. How nice. No job. Interesting. You better be very compliant and ready to do whatever government tells you. Otherwise, switch off the funds. You get all your debts forgiven you, your student loans. We know we've created a student loan debt bomb. Those souls will be writing off nothing more than 100 grand, and they will be selling their soul to the government in compliance to do exactly as they told. They will open their way up to that needle highway under their skin for anything and everything. Yours truly, the Sabbatian death cult Frankists chooses to pump under your flesh. And believe you me, once they're in there, mass murder involving billions is the easiest thing. And it's too much to do with a gun and a bullet. It's too much shooting to do. It's too much lead to throw, although there'll be a fair amount of that too. But boy, if you can get them just to comply and take the cocktail of versions of vaccines you'll be bringing them, then at any point when you decide, you can switch them all off in one glorious bonfire of spiritual release. That is your debt cult, and they will get you playing by the tokens created in a computer setting to 0. How kind of them. It's nothing to them. It never was. They have all the money in the world. They will create all the new money in the world. Forgiveness, debt forgiveness, such a big gain for you is nothing for them, and for that you will submit to their every mean. Wow. And they will get the goyim from off the land, the Talmudic doctrine. They've told you they're going to be coming for your property. I've told you they'll devalue this debt. Monetary theory is the precursory on-ramp to the final solution of draconian Bolshevik communism, which will have in it a major harvesting of souls, just like the Russian Revolution, the big, true, real, numbered mega genocide, and they will surpass it. They will surpass that number on a scale you haven't seen. And you will have a Stasi, a rat your mate out system, and you will have a gulag. And boy, don't get caught in the gulag. Guys like me, we're heading for the gulag. It's time to run for the hills and check out the plan, which we'll be covering in more detail in a moment. So I don't even need to show you the rest of this. You can follow my Twitter at the Market Sniper, at the Crypto Sniper, at the Reset Sniper for the rest of how awesome it'll be. You're going to get you'll feel so happy owning nothing. Yep, and they're going to kill the dollar and the US hegemony. We will get our emancipation from the dollar. They will celebrate it as a great thing. Only the new king will be even meaner as a king. What else have we got for you? Hey, Boston University, sent from me from one of my community members. Thank you, Davinda. Boston University has started the requirement of a digital badge. A digital badge, indicating they're up to date with the COVID-19 testing. You see how these all come out of the academic institutions. For those of you that says, but what about science? Why don't you believe science? Science is compromised. Medicine is compromised. The great solution is the chemical solution. Go study Carnegie and Rockefeller, turning everyone else into quacks, and the only solution is chemical for your health. This was compromised many, many years, many decades ago. And since then, pharma, science, and academic institutions are absolutely beholden to the extreme left Bolshevik Marxist Sabbatian murder death cult, which includes a little bit of child trauma, and you're going to be on the receiving end of that. And they roll these things out where they first can roll it so that you can see it, signaling that it's coming for when they plan to roll it out closer to home. Symptom screaming. Unfortunately, we're going to see this expand to become a requirement to travel. Did we not tell you your freedom of movement long ago? The minute they were coming with this. This is about restricting your freedom of movement. You better decide where you're settling down. If you're not opening up your veins and your subdermal layer to the highway of toxicity and baby tissue and every other DNA altering poison, mercury that they're going to be injecting, you better get ready to sit bloody tight where you are. Yes, I'm saying all you hear is that they will create millions of new jobs. Oh, it's great. Millions of new UBI jobs. Imagine how much will close down. Anything connected to a car and oil will be gone. Unemployment during the Great Depression went 25% because 40% of the population worked in agriculture. That's right. A new Great Depression, a new Bolshevik revolution, all combined together. You will have the Great Depression of the 30s of America combined with the Bolshevik Red Russian coming in and slaughtering all members of the Sabbatean Frankist cult of pure murder. Yes, they are coming and they are beastly. Tell me, said Trotsky, when the mothers eat their own children, you are not hungry yet. That is the passion and care, your oppressive, murderous cult. And as they get ever stronger and they have you by the neck ever tighter, they don't have to put on the show and the pretense anymore. They will show you exactly who is in charge, just like Trotsky. Okay, guys, so 1968. Let's have a little look. What happened in 1968? Yours truly was born. My birth date, and today is 2020. They say very optimistically at Sprott that this too shall pass. Well, it'll pass for a lot darker, a new world in terms of freedoms, I'm afraid. But they are slightly more optimistic in me. Let's read what happened in 1968. Maybe there's a reason I am the way I am. Maybe something to do with my birth year, should I say. Let's hope 2068 is my death year. I'll make my target. I'll have lived to 100. The Tet Offensive, that was Vietnam, which suddenly raised US awareness of the Vietnam War. Yes, nothing but the escalation of the extremist warmongery and the bombing of jungles and the destruction of the dollar that led to the 1971 Nixon taking the dollar off the gold standard. Czechoslovakia trying to escape from the Communist Union, being smacked down in the Prague Spring. North Korea seizing a US naval spy ship. This was after, and 83 sailors to boot, in a concentration camp. This was 15 years after the Korean War had ended. Wow. Quite an eventful year of spying, warmongery, US dominance in Vietnam and an attempt in North Korea, all being curtailed. It was the turn down of the great American never lost a war. And of course, civil rights and race. Boy, are race going to be a theme again. Martin Luther King assassinated. Wait, by dark state, not by radical, blue-eyed, skin-headed, white nationalists. No, my friends, by the very people that nurtured him. The dark state, because he started to talk of the Vietnam War, and to Kissinger, that was most unwelcome. And suddenly he found himself at the end of an assassination. The civil case was won by the King family against the dark state services. Yes, go and look it up for yourself. Civil case was won. Social unrest and protests. Sparking the fury. Student anti-war protests. Well, it's time we start getting. Robert Kennedy was assassinated as he campaigned for the presidency. Yep, Bob Kennedy, all in the year of my birth. Thousands of students, anti-war activists and others poured into Chicago, disrupted the Democrat National Convention. Athletes at the Mexico Olympics protested on the award stand, raising their fists in support of Black Power. The original Black Power salute happened in the year of my birth in the Olympics. My year was the year of the Olympics. Boy, what a year it was during the Star-Spangled Banner. The BLM, the Black Lives Matter, the seed of the Black Lives Matter. And to be fair, many things were absolutely corrupt in America in regards to race relations, and race relations were required, and it is a scandal King was killed and assassinated, and more importantly, by whom and who they chose to pass it off as. Yes, sock it to me, they say. Indeed, indeed. There was also good news. The fake moon landing, for which only one nation has ever really truly gone there and not bothered to do since. But now we're going to a burning rock of gas that you'll need to live in an asbestos based building wearing an asbestos suit, and all you look out and see is burning hot red rock. But we'll never go to the moon again? Why does Elon want to go so far? Why can't he get some real estate a lot closer to home? We don't need, think of the travel time. Think of the green energy, Elon, burning all that petrol up is. Oh yes, the 1968 story. Believe of it what you will. I'm not having a word of it. There is nothing but fakery and fuckery in that system. I have no idea what really happened. Maybe somehow we did get past the Finalen belts. But there's a whole bunch of bad photography, bad Photoshop, and jumping and running on the moon with a cable on your back. You can even almost see it. Go and investigate that. Think I'm a loon? Why not? Check it out. Unfortunately, the year of my birth was warmongery, civil rights unrest, murder of king, and the great fake out of the 1968 lunar landing. What a year that was. If you think 2020 was bad, boy, oh boy, think about what went on there. So here we go. Oh, and this 2001 Space Odyssey, brought to you by Sabbaty and Frankist, probably in time to be revealed, or probably traveled with Epstein to his island, Mr. Spielberg. Planet of the Apes, also very cross-planetary in its nature. And the song of the moment was Mrs. Robertson by Simon and Garfunkel. That's it, Paul Simon and Garfunkel. Lesson 1, the world did not end. No, but it sure was an ugly bastard of a year. Apart from the fact that yours truly cried his first voice. And now he says marginal tax rates. Well, we're going to have a global communism, guys. And this time it's going to be globalized, and credit scoring and social scoring. Everything before then was a pull from the one extreme to the other extreme, so that they could slowly get to this point where they can go the whole world all into communism. There isn't any smashback. This time is different. The world did not end, but it may just end for many of us. Unfortunately, it may just end for many of us, unless you're a part of the cult. So anyway, what do you do? What do you do? So all the problems, Francis, you're great at talking about the problems. What do you do? Well, I'm here to tell you what you can do. First of all, if you're not serious and don't realize that you need to be independent of wealth, then I don't know what you're thinking, because the kind of dependence on government is going to come with all sorts of strings attached, and it doesn't end well. You need to be independent of wealth so that you do not need their UBI, you do not need to comply, and you continue to assert your rights as a free-born human being, not part of any system that enforces draconian control. You do need, in short, to get started and building your wealth, you need an online business, something you can do that you can grow your wealth whilst they are locking the world down. Your pizzeria will close. It'll be Amazon.com delivering your local pizza as made by an Amazon approved local outlet in enough time and due course. It'll be Netflix.com giving you your entertainment and keeping you at home. It's time you built wealth. This is what we're all about on the Market Sniper. You should be sub to the channel. Trading and investing. You don't have to be 5 minutes on the screen all time long. Currently long Bitcoin, and it's doing just great, 13,390. We will be going long on again, and I'm currently long silver. I have long the silver miners. You need to build wealth. You need to put your wealth where you can protect it as best as possible, because there's going to be draconian overreach. You need to get diversified. Also, in our community, we discuss Panamanian residency and where you can protect your money and funds. Yes, sir. You can have a trading account where you will not have to pay ridiculous taxes. You can find out more about that without having to pay $7,000 for a report from a famous YouTuber and a further $30,000 or $25,000 to actually get it implemented just for the advice. Never mind all fees and other matters. You can learn about that in our community. You can start homesteading. You can start finding out what you should be doing in terms of becoming totally independent of the food chain, because food supplies will go down, lots of things will go down. In South Africa, they're butchering the farmers. It's going to be the perfect hunger. And in other countries, the farmers are being forced to cull animals, even healthy animals, and destroy them, not making their way into the food chain. Without a doubt, government must be the supplier of last resort, and independent supplies must fall under the control of government under the big martial law hoax that comes with a scamdemic theme. That is where you're at. It's time to get homesteading, guys. It's time to get homesteading. Okay, it's time to get independent of energy. It's time to learn how to use a radio. CB operator. You can do CB and full ham radio. Have you got your license? Guess what? Grid goes down, electricity goes down. You won't be able to pay with Bitcoin if you're just a crypto guy. You need to have silver coins. You need to have gold coins. You need to have comms. You need to have got local. You need to know your local farmer. You need to be rural. You need to be away from the urban areas. You need to be away from big governments with mass armies that are going to be having massive medical unveil schemes. You need to get remote and plugged in. And if you aren't there yet, you're not ready for what's coming. And this isn't a bad dream. It isn't a nightmare. It's an escalation. It's an escalation that is draconian, and the people behind it are cold-blooded like the lizards that they are often referred to as. This is the snake that is strangling the world, and you need to understand it's coming. Build your wealth, build your independence, build some level of personal security around you, form the communities, and you can start by becoming part of the Crypto Sniper and the Market Sniper and the Reset Sniper, and finding out all the things that we are looking to do with our online community, and all the preparations that you can make, and the investments you should be doing in these times while you still can, before the close down comes. And that, my friends, is the core of taking life into your own hands, buying yourself some time. Book a call, have a chat with one of our community members, no salesmen, people that are all members of the community that have made that same decision you might be making. Find out what it's all about, what it entails. We have self-study where you can learn the skills of trade just by watching videos as a lower cost entry. And then from profits, you can later join the community on an upgrade where we will even credit part of your original investment depending on time. This is all available. This is our service. Come on if it suits you. It's not for everybody. If you don't see the danger, we're not for you. If you don't want to use investing or trading as a wealth building mechanism towards making sure you have sufficient resources, we're probably not for you. If you don't own your own outcomes and see that you're learning a new skill, and there can be ups as well as downs and downs as well as ups, we're probably not for you. But if you wish to learn Hunt Volatility Funnel Method and to be in the strongest possible position in these end of Terminator times, I am waiting for that Arnold role in the Chrome Terminator to come and flush the rest of us out. Could you be the Connor, the father of the sun that saves us from the machines? On that cheery note, I hope we win. But I'm definitely buying time, and I'm getting like-minded people together in one place. Thank you for watching. Keep optimistic. Do not allow the bastards to install fear into you. Taking action kills fear. Taking action kills fear. Learning, getting set up kills fear. Go and do all these things and you will feel better. Do not sleep unwell as a result of this. Take action and learn. Thank you for watching. And remember, we appreciate shares. We appreciate shares as likes as well. So if you're of mind to do that, we greatly appreciate it and we thank you for it. Thanks so much and enjoy. And we'll see you on the other side if that's something you wish to investigate a little further. Bye for now.